Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Vanessa Starnino. If you're new here, I am a worship leader, vocal coach, and a Jesus lover here in Montreal, Canada. Thank you so much for subscribing, number one, and for watching. I shared in my birthday vlog this year, blessings, that I'd be sharing something on a very special day. Today happens to be that very special day. With scheduling, sometimes, I plan to have the video out. It's okay, I'm getting better and better. We're going up and up and up, never down. And it's important for me to share this day. First of all, I'm gonna tell you what day it is. And I think I need some water to be able to get through this because honestly, I should have probably got some Kleenex too, but that remains to be seen. I'm gonna take a sip of my water. One more sip of water. I want to share a story with you. It's a special day. It's not an easy day. I say it's a special day because everything is a matter of perspective. The way that I look at things is really a matter of understanding and seeing things differently. So today is the day my mom went on to glory. My mom, the beautiful Stella Starnino, she went to be with the Lord in 2018, so 5 years ago. Following her passing, I was in preparation for her funeral. She was very specific. She did not want her funeral to be done at a church or even at the funeral home. She insisted that it wouldn't be, any faff, nothing big. She said, if you want to do something, Vanessa, it has to be done at the graveside. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take your word and do it the best way I know how. And so I had planned, these beautiful pamphlets, which a friend of mine helped me with, and it, just highlighting her life and celebrating her life. And of course, I invited all of our family, a lot of friends. Many people came, and it was a testament to her life, and just this beauty that she carried that she really didn't believe in. And so here I am in preparations. And so for those of you who have ever lost a loved one, you know that, you have to go to the funeral home and there's preparations there. And in her case, it wasn't very much. Then there's also where the person is buried. And so I was at the cemetery one afternoon and I was driving to the graveside just to see, I don't know, just to see the location. Like I was driving there and I was alone in my car and I heard, before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. And I was like, okay, I know this song. And I was like, Lord. And the thing is, then there was another portion of the song that came and then another, and it was like all the words of the song. So it says, you have been so, so kind to me. And then it goes, oh, the overwhelming, never ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found. It leaves the 99. And and then basically the singer says, I couldn't earn it. I don't deserve it. Still you give yourself away. Before I knew it, I was in my car crying. I was like, Lord, you chased her down. You were fighting for her until she was found. Like you didn't give up on her. And then it was like all of a sudden the lyrics of this song came alive to me. It's like Jesus stopped at nothing to get my mother's attention. It was like, it didn't matter how early on in her life, or even if it was until the last moment, which it was, Jesus was literally like, I am going to win this woman's heart. And the story shifted things for me. So I immediately called my friend who was helping me with the pamphlets because we had these classic songs, prepared, like one glad morning when this life is over. I don't know. There was just different songs. And I said to her, we need to include Reckless Love. Then I called two of my very good friends, Maya and Sonia. They're both musicians at my church. They're also really, really great friends. I love their family. And I was like, I need to ask you a favor. It's not an easy favor, but if you're willing to do it, I will be immensely grateful. And so I asked them if they'd be willing to play the guitar and the violin for me. What's more is that in all the preparations for my mother's graveside funeral, I had also planned to have a brunch following the service. It was just for me to be with friends and family and to be surrounded by love because it was such a difficult time. So we had already, with the worship team, been in preparations with various songs. And so this one in particular was like really, really, really special because I know that God was speaking to me. So let's cut to the day of the funeral. It was a really cold day. It was in April. She passed away in January, but the ground was so hard, so we waited until April. She's born in April. I want to celebrate her life, like a party in her honor. And so we waited. And that day was like the coldest day of April I have ever experienced. And everyone showed up. And if you know anything about music or stringed instruments, playing the violin or the guitar outdoors in such an open space, it's like usually the sound is carried. But that day, the sound was as if we were inside, we were indoors. There was a bubble, there was a dome over this particular location. Every person heard it. And if you're okay with it, I'm gonna cut to a clip. I know it's not usual that people will film a funeral. Of course, in movies they do, which is fake. Anyway, but someone filmed this moment and I want to share it with you. So let's have a look at that now. What you're seeing here is me with my relatives. We are standing at the actual site of the burial, and we're about to say a few words, and I began to sing Reckless Love. The power of God just began to fill the location. Some friends shared that they had visions. There were people there who were not saved, who didn't know Jesus, who were weeping. Of course, it's a sad occasion, but they shared afterwards that they were weeping for a deeper meaning. It was deeper. It was like they were moved, and I know that it was because God was there. God was upholding myself, my son, my aunt, my uncles, even my dad. It was a very difficult time for all of us. I left that moment knowing that this was an anthem for people who were lost. We know from the Gospel of Luke, the parable of the lost sheep. It's chapter 15, when Jesus leaves his entire flock to go after the one lost sheep. Why did he consider doing that? It's because the rest of us were together. We were already safe and secure. But that one sheep, that one person, that one soul who has been isolated, who has left, who has gone alone, has gone it alone. Jesus is like, no. Let me tell you something. I am coming for you. I'm not going to leave you alone. I'm not going to leave you behind. You're part of us. You're one of us. And it became an anthem, honestly. And I knew that in her honor, I wanted to sing this song and let people know how important. So let's now talk a bit about the actual music video. I had the privilege and honor to work with my brother, Luke Evans, on this particular project, and we had such a great time. Not only was it incredible because I got to film this in locations in and around Montreal, but I got to do this with a team that I really, really love. Revive Nation's worship team is literally like, I don't know. We're led by two wonderful human beings. I would say that they are God beings. My prophets, my spiritual parents, my mother and father in the Lord, the prophets, the great Shaiju and Tini Matthew. And I know that I'm here today because of this grace. In fact, everything that took place leading up to my mom accepting Jesus, they helped me with. And I know that I'm forever indebted to them. I keep taking a sip of water every time I know I'm about to burst into tears because it helps. Okay, so let's look at the Reckless Love video. Why? So now you know the why I recorded Reckless Love. Now I'm gonna walk you through the music video. Okay, so are you ready? Are you ready? Are you liking this video so far? Is it informative? Is it giving you a bit of history? Is it touching? I know it's touching. I'm gonna enjoy watching this movie movie. I'm gonna enjoy rewatching this video. So, okay, let's go. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you go and watch Reckless Love video right now. Like it, share it with a friend. And now that you know the history, you can have a talking point about it. Guys, this woman recorded this video because you could even send this to Corey Asbury, because really, he wrote this song. And I'm like, God, thank you. I'm so grateful that he produced a song that talks about God's never ending love for us. This love that's like, look, you're important. You're that important to me. No matter what happens, I'm gonna fight for you. That's the message that I got from the song. So, okay, so here's the context of the video. It's set in Montreal. There's a rose all throughout the video. The rose is a gift. It's meant to signify God's presence and glory in someone's life, okay? That God's presence is in our life whether we are aware of it or not. That God is pursuing us whether we know it or not. So this is the context, okay? The idea is following the life of a woman. I wanted to demonstrate the power of God pursuing my mother through this video without using specific examples from her life. So it's like 3 scenarios, one from baby, one from teens, one from adulthood. And although it's 3 different people, 3 different women, the storyline is saying, look, God has pursued you even when you were a baby. So we see a father and his newborn daughter. Then we see a young woman who's in trouble. She's running, but God is still with her, even in her trouble, even in her tears. And then we see a woman who then has financial troubles, and she's like, you know what? Like, I don't think I could go on. And God's like, wait a minute. I'm going to help you. And so God gets introduced into this woman's story, and we see she changes from, like, you know, tattered clothing to this beautiful white garment. So, okay, let's take a quick look. All right, let's go. You ready? I gotta get this back to the beginning. Okay, first scene, my logo over Montreal, beautiful. Next scene is the florist shop that I bought these beautiful long stem roses. And then we see my lovely son walking across the street. Yeah, so the music begins and we're seeing the flowers. So let's pause here for a minute. This scene was meant to signify how God carefully chooses us. So Alex, he's the owner of Marche des Fleurs in Montreal-West, Alex Hu, and he is signifying the master gardener, you know, God as this beautiful image of handpicking us for himself, okay? And so we see that he's preparing. I just love these roses. By the way, roses are my favorite flower. Yeah. We see Nishan exiting the flower shop and into the home. So this is it. So God has already prepared himself for us, and he comes into our home and he's bringing us a gift. The gift is himself. The gift is his presence. Most people don't understand that. It's okay. And then we cut to me, because of course I'm singing. And then we see Pastor Isan holding his newborn daughter, Rema. Oh man, I just love when the sunlight breaks over them and then we see her. Oh, my darling. She's so sweet. See, she wasn't even aware. And this love that her father is demonstrating and displaying towards his daughter, so beautiful. You can see in the way that he's looking at her. That hand shot with her little newborn hand. Okay, so here we are at the lookout point on Mount Royal. It was 6 a.m. Oh my gosh, we carried up every bit of the equipment in full makeup, full dress, because you can't drive up there. The team was amazing, honestly. Everybody was excited. The energy was really high. And here I am with this beautiful red hair. Oh my goodness, guys. Ah! Still you give yourself away. Come on. Oh my goodness. People were watching and they were like, what is going on? It was incredible. It was incredible, honestly. These shots though, look at these overhead shots. Whoa! Okay, now we're cutting to the scene 22 years later, okay? This woman, the beautiful Victoria Tammy, She is running out of a bad situation. We don't know what situation it is, but we know that she's not really dressed, modestly. So imagine just grabbing a cab, which happens to be my car. I love the cinematography. I love the angles. So the lyrics, when I was a foe, still your love fought for me. You have been kind to me. Montreal streets. Yeah. So we're resting assured that even though in our sin we are against God, he's still fighting for us. Yeah. And so you see, it says, when I felt no worth, you paid it all for me. So it's like, listen, Jesus, even though I might have been in a sticky situation where I'm devaluing myself, or I'm unaware of how much I'm worth, you're still there. Look at that rose. Look at the rose, guys. The rose! I was like, yes, let's show God is even with you in these ugly situations. Oh my God. God knows what she was going through. Just leave it to your imagination. That was the point. Let's leave it. She's in a situation, but God is still with her. And that's the beauty of the Lord. I love you, Jesus. Ay. Water. Here's the team on the mountain again. The energy is rising. Look at Josh. Josh is coming in. Hey! Let's go. Woo! Yes. Oh my goodness. I said I wouldn't cry, but here we go. Oh yeah. The lovely Sonia on violin. My God. How blessed am I that I had a group of friends as talented as this. Okay, here we are, cutting to the kitchen scene where this woman, who happens to be my beautiful sister, Cassandra. Now, this is another 20 years later, following her, and she's having trouble with money. She's overwhelmed. She's like, God, oh man, how did I get myself in this situation? I'm gonna try to get out of it. So you're gonna try to do it on your own, right? But she's like, it's too much. But God's like, guess what? Doesn't matter how dark it is. Doesn't matter how high the wall is. No. Jesus, he's gonna fight for you. Light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. Jesus. There's no wall you won't. Every prison door that you find yourself in, whether it's of your own making, whether it's because of something that happened to you, trauma causes us to be in prisons of our mind. So whether or not that's the case, God's like, hey, there is no wall. No, there's no lie that you're not going to tear down. God always brings the truth of his word into our lives to set us free. Oh my goodness. Jesus, I thank you that you would pursue me in such a way that you don't care. This is why this song to me was so popular. Demonstrating Jesus' reckless love for us. Okay, so now you see the team's having a good time. She's picked up the new roses. She's changed her outfit. She's happy. She's invited the presence of God into her life. You leave the 99. Hey. I couldn't earn it. I don't deserve it, but still you give yourself away. So now we see she places the roses. She places the presence of God at the center of a clean table because God has cleaned up her life. Oh, this shot is so beautiful. I love those roses. Aren't they pretty? My God. So we see the ending here as I walk is just taking in the beauty. It was meant to be at the cemetery, but I felt that it would be more difficult. It would be too difficult, rather, for me to do. Hey, thank you guys. The video. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now that you've seen it, now that you've heard it, now that you know everything about it, leave a comment below. Tell me how God has pursued you, how the reckless love of God has never failed you, how encouraged you are to know that even when you were unaware, God was with you. Oh my goodness. Even when you couldn't even speak, before you spoke a word, God was already singing life, breathing life over you. My goodness, the plans of God, they're plans to prosper you. Oh my goodness, there's one of my favorite scripture verses. It's Jeremiah 29:11. It says, "For I know the plans that I have for you." It says plans, no, it says thoughts of peace, not of evil, to give you an expected end. There's another version, it says, hold on, that's KJV. Another version that says, "For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord." So he's already made the declaration. It says, "For I know the thoughts and the plans that I think towards you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you future and a hope." The hope that we find in Jesus is a hope for everlasting. It is the joy. It is the overwhelming love. It's the exceeding and abundant pursuit of a faithful God who wants to see us live life fully here and to be with him. And so thank you so much for watching. Now that you know the reason behind it, I pray that you enjoy this video all the more. Share it with a family member. Tell them, say, look, this is what happened. This is the story. This woman, she didn't know Jesus, and yet still Jesus pursued her. My mother gave her life to the Lord 6 months before she died. She changed her vocabulary. You know, the proof, the fruit of that change was in how she spoke about Jesus. For a woman who didn't attend church, she would talk to me about Jesus and described him biblically. You know, she talked about an encounter and a vision that she had of Jesus, where she saw him. He came to her and was wearing this flannel shirt with blue jeans, and he had white woolly hair, and she was saying that he talked to her about building, and I guess the clothing signified that because he was a carpenter, and she also had experienced an encounter of heaven and described the crystal sky. I mean, for someone who was unchurched, who didn't know the Bible, she expressed how green, she said the grass was a green that she had never seen before, and what she experienced was overwhelming peace. So it was beautiful. And the last thing I'm going to share with you, 2 weeks before my mom passed away, she was laying in her bed, and I was there with her, and we were just, you know, sitting, and she says to me, "Vanessa, I know who the love of your life is." And she often, you know, would talk to me about that because she, you know, wanted me to be married and have a family. And she would always, you know, tell me things, you know, that she thought I should do. So in this particular moment, I was like, "Yes, Mom, who's the love of my life?" You know, and I didn't know what she was about to say. And so she says to me, "Well, he's sitting on your couch." And I was like, "Sitting on my couch?" Of course, we were in the hospital. We were not at home. And so I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "It's Jesus." And I remember weeping my eyes out that day. And it was a revelation that she had, because the truth is that in that season, I spent my time, my prayer time, my moments of encounter, you know, moments of intimate worship and prayer in my living room on my couch. And that's where I met with Jesus often. So for me, it was a beautiful testimony or testament to her transformation, her preparedness to meet the Lord, her heart, the shift. And so today I thank God for that, for this moment. Instead of weeping, we don't mourn like the world does, because we know we will see our loved ones again. I know that she's with Jesus, and for that I thank God. I celebrate her life on this day. I thank you so much for watching. Thank you for spending the last 20 something minutes with me, going through this video, hearing you know, my testimony, as well as the reason why I recorded Reckless Love. I love you guys. Don't forget to like this video. Make sure you leave a comment below. Just share your thoughts on the video, and also please share this with a friend. Share. Thank you so much for watching. You are loved, you are blessed, and until next week, don't forget, There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me, after you. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Reckless Love. And Reckless Love is a story of the 99 sheep and the one lost that Jesus goes after. So she was that one lost. I hope you're blessed by this song.